Now we have understood the basic of direct exchange. We'll just see it from the program itself. We have written two programs called emitLogDirect.py and receiveLogsDirect.py. I'll not go into the detail of the code as because of the time constraint. emitLogDirect.py will be acting as producer and receiveLogsDirect.py will be acting as consumer. We'll run multiple instances of it so that it can act as different multiple applications. Now on my left I'll run the producer or the emitLog program, and on my right I'll run two instances of our consumer or receive logs with different parameters. So with error parameter it is creating a queue with binding code error. Here I am running the same the instance of the program with parameter info, so that it is creating a new queue with binding key called info. So if I want to verify those queues are created, I'd go to my RabbitMQ manager. This is hosted in cloud, so if I click here and go to queues, I can see that there are two queues created. This queue is binded with binding key error to default exchange or direct exchange, and there's another queue with binding key info. So whenever I send now messages with binding key as info, then this would be routed to this queue, and which would route my message to the respective consumer or the program I am running to the terminal. So now let's go back to my terminal and send some messages. Now I'd run my producer to send messages. Here I'm sending a message with a routing key error to the exchange, so that it would be routed to my consumer, which would be interested in receiving error messages. Now you can see the message is received on the right hand side of my screen by the consumer running. Now if I want to send info message, so I change the routing key here as info. Then you can see it is received by another consumer which is linked to the queue bound with routing key as info, and I'm sending the message with routing key as info, so that the broker is routing the messages to this consumer now.